Uncanny X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga number 137, the trial by combat of Jean Grey, or the Phoenix, or Jean Grey. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Longbox Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now we're talking about Uncanny X-Men number 137, the Dark Phoenix Saga. Now this was the special double-size issue, so there is a lot of stuff to cover in here. And the cover, the cover looks fantastic. I like these old covers. You got Jean Grey and Cyclops, holding on to each other, and their suits are all ripped up, and they're shooting beams and psi energy off, and they're on the moon. You can see the planet Earth right in the background there. It's a great cover. So we have them. We start out with Utu, the Watcher. And Utu's talking about, since time immemorial, I and others of my race. And so they're talking about this is a very pivotal moment in the universe. The trial of Jean Grey, or the death of the Phoenix, it's a very pivotal moment. And then we get this big 2-page spread, the fate of the Phoenix, right? And so they all got teleported up from the last issue. The Phoenix had destroyed 1 billion people on the planet, and that planet over there, and destroying the sun. Then it was coming back to Earth, and the X-Men were fighting her. And Xavier was able to cramp down her brain and get her to turn off the Phoenix and become Jean Grey again. And then they all kind of get teleported up. So Chris Claremont wrote this. John Byrne, Terry Austin is the inker, and we have now they're standing there in this. And the other great 2-page spreads. So Leandra, you see Gladiator, and they're all kind of, boom, right there in the middle of this court or spaceship or something. It looks like they're in the courtroom. So we have, the court kind of starts. And Leandra says, you are on trial, basically. The Phoenix must be destroyed. So Cyclops, hey, why are we here? We've just been kidnapped. No, the Phoenix must be destroyed. And she's like, me? And she, and he's like, well, I'm not going to let you happen. You can't let you have that. You can't do that to it. Look what all she's done good. How can you repair like that? And Leandra's like, we had no quarrel with the Phoenix. Then Cyclops, she seemed to be a beneficent entity. Though we suspected to the full extent of her power and feared it, we did nothing. I believed that Jean could cope with her near infinite abilities, but I was wrong. And so Gladiator goes and kind of explains what happened. She went into the star, and she killed 1 billion people when it went to supernova. And of course, Jean now is just she is just wrecked with guilt. And all of them are like, oh dear, even Storm's like, oh dear, oh little one, dear sister, I have no words to comfort you. How do you ease the torment when somebody that's that emotional, and you realize you killed billions of people? That is hardcore. But Professor X goes, hey, Leander, wait, Jean Grey, Aaron Hylar, I challenge you to the duel of honor. So Xavier's the one that kind of gets the whole trial by combat thing kicked off. So Leandra goes, hey, well, let me talk to the other heads of the nation, of the nations that are involved in this. We have the Shi'ar, we have the Skrull, and we have the Kree. And so, okay, do we all agree that we're going to do a trial by combat? Each of us are going to bring in some people to fight. We have a Kree, we have a Shi'ar, we have the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, we have a Skrull. And so he goes, I am here for one reason, to end forever the threat to Phoenix. Hinder me any way you want, alien, but your life is forfeit if you do. Whew, those are some heavy words. They are very serious about getting rid of the Phoenix. So they're having the last night together. They're getting ready to go off into this battle zone on the moon. I believe it's on the moon. We have, a lot of talking here, a lot of dialogue, and a lot of catching up of how people feel and feelings and interpersonal relationships, things of that sort. The art is really good here. We see Nightcrawler jumping through hoops and this and that, and we see Angel swing in and catch him before he falls. All that kind of fun stuff. Good art. We see Wolverine get out of the shower. Yes, his helmet's sitting over to the side. He's got his claws, and he's thinking. We see Beast in the bath, and all this kind of stuff. And they're all having these personal conversations with themselves. We see Colossus wake up, and we see Storm, waking up from bed, and they're all, we're getting ready to do this battle thing. and today is the day, right? So we see a last meeting between Cyclops and Jean Grey, and he goes, that'll be like saying that the Dark Phoenix is won, that you are evil. You're not. Jean, whatever happens, know that I love you and I'll stand by you. And Jean says, and I you, Scott, with all my heart. So, they love each other. And he knows this is like a battle to the death, man. This is it. And so they either go down together or they win. That's his mentality in this. And so they all get teleported onto the planet. The X-Men get teleported on one side of this zone. And they're like looking around. They're like, look like we're on the moon. He goes, I've side scanned the crater, Scott, and I can detect no other thoughts. We're here alone. So Angel tries to fly, but then you realize, you're lighter on the moon with gravity, and my wings won't sweep me the crater like they should have done. There's no air. I can't breathe. So you go over a certain point, you're out of this bubble that's around this area, this air bubble. So they're lighter, so they can move faster, they jump higher, but then they run out of air, and then they're in trouble. So you got to stay within the zone. And then they start noticing, hey, let's split up. Let's figure out, where the other guys are, and we'll take the battle to them. And then all of a sudden, boom, the Shire Guard shows up, and Scott and Jean are taking on like three, and they're like coming in from fighting this way. Angel's there with them. We got Wolverine and Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, and Beast went a different way, and they come up to this huge power armor suit, and it starts battling with them, and then has a little guy that's like attached to it, and he kind of jumps out, and he's fighting Beast. And you got Storm fighting over here, and Gladiator shows up. And just a huge, it's a brawl, right? And we got this guy that can actually Wolverine and Storm break off because Colossus and Beast are attacking this metal armor dude with the little dude that hangs on him. Then another guy can actually control stones and is throwing the stones at him, and Wolverine gets knocked into another biodome type thing, and Storm trying to fight it off with wind, and she gets hit with a Psy Whip, and it kind of knocks her out, and then the rocks hit her, and she's gone. So now Storm's down, right? We get back, and Jean Grey is fighting, Lamprey with, telekinesis, and Colossus is shooting fire beams, and Wolverine's battling two others, and Nightcrawler's there. And there's some type of telepathy, because my mind and everything is suddenly going gluey. So I guess one of the girls back there, I forgot her name, she actually hits Angel with this vertigo type thing, and he warps him out, and he kind of is not able to think, and the guy throws him down on the ground. Nightcrawler just jumps after him, trying to catch him, and then we get over to Wolverine, and Wolverine's going for like this biodome, and every time he jumps through, he's like through a different, like he's through this huge face on a screen. He goes, you don't know what this thing is. He goes, I'm the Watcher. So apparently they're in the Watcher's home, I think. Then he gets through a biodome, and he's in like with dinosaurs, and he jumps again, and he's on this volcanic world, and then he jumps through again. He's back onto with Storm. Now Storm is not Storm, and she goes to grab Wolverine, but he's able to sniff her out and realize it's a Skrull. So now he's fighting the Skrull, and fighting, and then the Kree shows up, and the Kree and the Skrull, they start getting into it, and Wolverine kind of just like on his way. So Wolverine, and so Nightcrawler is, he sees this, the girl with the yellow cape. I don't remember her name either. I think it's Lamprey. I don't remember. But, he goes after her, but she shoots Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler's down. So now Storm's down, Nightcrawler's down. Then Wolverine and Colossus are still fighting this armor dude, but Gladiator just showed up. And Gladiator's a tough dude, right? So the little robot dude grabs Beast and electrocutes him, and Beast is down for the count. And Colossus turns and looks because the armor suit is down. The big armor guy is down. But Gladiator comes in and punches him in the face, knocks him down. And it's just, we got, basically we just have fight back and forth between each of these people, just knocking each other out. Now, Colossus actually put up a really good fight against Gladiator, and I'm really kind of surprised he didn't win. But Xavier's here, and this is a point here. So my X-Men, I felt that you had a chance. I never dreamed this would end like this. And forgive me, my children. I know I will never forgive myself. I warned you, and Laliandra says, I warned you, Charles. As each X-Men falls, another piece is cut from your heart. And so I think Xavier kind of just lets go of what was holding Marvel Girl and the Phoenix in place. So, Jean Grey and Colossus are still together. They're still running, and everybody's kind of coming down on these two. And it says the energy flare lights up half the lunar hemisphere. A plasma bolt of monstrous proportion punches through the starship and through the defensive force fields like they didn't even exist, announcing the universe that the Phoenix was reborn. And so then you see Xavier saying, he's like, Leander is right. Things have gone too far. I have done all I could too little, too late for Jean. Now I must act for the human race. Hear me, my X-Men. They got to take out Phoenix. And this is just heartbreaking for Scott. He loves her. This is the woman he loves, but she's flaring up as the Phoenix, and she's starting to destroy things. And he's like, Jean, no, Professor X, Colossus or Cyclops attack Phoenix now, while she is still in a comparatively weak state. He's like, Professor, there has to be some other way. No, you have to take her out. And so she's throwing rocks, and so Cyclops shoots toward her. And then Wolverine and Colossus are there, and he's like, hey, Colossus, armor up after I throw you. And he throws him, right? And he throws Colossus. Now, kind of like a backwards version of the fastball special. And he armors up, but he pulls this punch at the last minute. He can't really take her out. And she's laying there, and she starts crying, right? And she looks at Cyclops, and she's like, kill me. So this is the heartbreaking part, right? They've got to fight the person, a friend. And Colossus has got to kill the woman he loves. And just as he's about to do it, right, he's still battling within himself. I can't do this. She wraps him up in telekinesis. And she goes, you of all people should know how I feel through the psionic rapport we have. I'm scared, Scott. I'm hanging on to by my fingernails. I can feel the Phoenix waiting within me, taking over me. You've got to do something. And so there's this machine thing there, right? And he goes, she goes, I killed 5 billion people. I destroyed them. I can't live like this. I can't live with that. She goes, I love you, Scott. A part of me will always be with you. And he's like, Jean, no, Scott, Jean, boom. And she's now a pile of ash. Now, where she went, I don't know. I guess they assume she's dead. But I don't think she's actually, maybe she is dead. Maybe He goes, I planned this, you planned this from the beginning, didn't you? From the moment we landed on the moon, you shielded your intentions from our rapport. But just the same, I should have guessed, I should have realized that you could not become Dark Phoenix and remain true to yourself. The Jean Grey I knew and fell in love with, you took the steps to ensure that if Leander couldn't stop you, you'd do it yourself. You must have picked the minds of the Kree and Skrull observers and learned what ancient weapons were hidden here, so that you used them in the fight and to drain you of energy, to make you invulnerable, and finally, when you were ready, you killed herself. So she used whatever that machine was. She was able to read the minds of the Kree and the Skrull. She went to Dark Moon. She was able to pull the energy of the Phoenix off of her, and she allowed herself to die. Now, if you look at the picture, and I don't know if I have this cut, but in the back, it looks like there's a dude back there. I don't know if it's the machine or a dude, or the machine man that's talking to Utu. But it goes, statement, I am the recorder, a non-cellular humanoid created by the colonized of Rigel to think and to record. I observed all of the transpired here, and I do not comprehend the meaning of these events. So he's talking to the Watcher, and the Watcher kind of explains about the Phoenix and the this and what's happening, and how the humankind, the love between the Cyclops and Jean, and how he had to let her go, but even though she did it herself, knowing that she couldn't live with the idea that she killed that many people. So a lot of emotions going on here, a lot of battle scenes, a lot of good fighting, but a lot of dialogue too, and a lot of interpersonal relationships up. So it was a good issue, but honestly, it could be, if you're not into all the dialogue, it could be a little boring and a little like, oh, I can't remember this. But it was a good issue, great story, and now we're basically most of the way through the Phoenix Saga. It's just a little bit more on the end of this. So if you like this review, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here in the Long Box.